Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a review slash walkthrough with this cool new Oracle deck that I got. It's called Conjuration, and it is a vintage telling deck. Now, I found this deck on eBay. I was just perusing, came across it, and then realized that this deck is not mass produced. I'm not even sure if you would consider it to be an indie deck. It's just an deck that somebody had, and then that was the end of it. I think they have a website that you can buy the deck from if you really want it, but you can't find it anywhere. Like, you couldn't find it on an Etsy. You couldn't find them on social media or anything like that. My understanding of how this deck came to be was that someone found a bunch of prints that was, actually, I'm pretty sure they tell you. Yes. So this unique set of cards was hand-drawn in 1930s, and then it was crafted after the popular gypsy-type decks of the turn of the century. And then someone found it, and then used the prints and copied them, and then made more decks. And so the prints were originally on pieces of linen, and so yeah, and they just took copies of those photos, and they made a couple decks with it. I guess because they thought it was cool, and then sold them mostly on eBay, and then people, I guess they sold out, and so they made a couple more copies and a couple more prints, and then now boom, here you go, you have the Conjuration deck. And so I guess if you would want it, you would have to buy it off of eBay. I've looked, or you would have to buy it off their website, which is conjuration.co.uk. But I haven't seen it anywhere else that you can actually buy it from. Now, let's get these out. So the decks are small. These are the back. But I don't mind the size of the deck. I usually hate really small decks, but I feel like the size of this deck feels like it has a purpose. And the fronts are awesome, and so I feel like I'm okay with that. And they definitely have a 1930s feel. Even the way the card itself feels, you can tell, obviously it's not a piece of linen, but it has texture to it as if it were a piece of linen, and so I think that feels really nice. But here's one of the cards, a laurel wreath. And they do give you definitions of what the card means, but this is very much a deck that's more so intuitive than anything else, and I really don't think the definitions are all that important. If you were really having a hard time figuring out what each card meant for a reading, then, I mean, it's there for you to rely on if you needed it. But I don't think you need the definitions. I think the cards themselves are cool. Good cardstock, nice and bendy. You can shuffle them if you like to do those riffle shuffles. Not sticky, not too glossy, and I don't know if you can see the texture in it. No, you can't really see the texture. There's a bit of it. But trust me when I tell you, there's texture. But I think this is so cool how they were hand-drawn. And I love the way the card looks, and I love how it looks like it's a piece of linen, and I love the color. I love how vintage it is. I also love how you really won't be able to find it anywhere if you don't go and like buy it off of eBay. And I say this all the time, I love feeling like I have stuff that no one else has. I like to feel special. And this was a late night, like 2 o'clock in the morning impulse purchase, because I like to stalk eBay auctions to see what's going, to see if I can win it, or to see what's like really good decks but for cheap. And every once in a while I come across a gem, and I feel like this was one of the gems, and I'm really happy about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way is supposed to be the right side. I guess maybe that's the right side. Some of them are a bit ambiguous with that, but I suppose all of that is up for interpretation, which makes it fun. I think this is a really cool card to use if you are in the middle of doing a reading, whether for yourself or someone else. I feel like um, this could be a card that you could pull for like reinforcement or something. So let's say let's say you're doing a reading about like money, or whether someone's going to get a job sooner, you're going to get a job sooner, if you're going to come into money, and you get the card with the coins on it or something like that. Then you're like, oh yes. If you get the card with the horseshoe, you're like, oh well, there'll be good luck around money, or something. Maybe you won't come into money, but maybe your money problem will disappear on its own or something. I think that's really cool as well. This is actually called a tear vial. I thought it was so funny. So this is actually supposed to be a glass or a bottle or whatever with tears in it. A bottle with your tears. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought to myself, whoever made this definitely had a sense of humor. Or I also did some reading, and the way they do it is, let's say you're doing a reading with the cards, and maybe the devil pops up in the reading. That would be a sign that what they say, that whatever card the devil touches, or whatever card the devil is next to, then that means the opposite of the card. So so if you got, for example, the horseshoe, which would be like good luck, if the devil popped up next to it, then that would mean, oh, you're gonna have bad luck or something like that. And then last but not least, books. Yeah, I thought these cards were super cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys. It also came with a few cards that gives you like the meanings. So it doesn't actually have a guidebook. They put up on cards. So if you look closely, it'll tell you which each card is and what the meaning is. The one thing that's a bit annoying is that you can see how it's numbered. The cards themselves don't actually have numbers on them, so you kind of have to search for it. Which, when I was trying to figure out the meanings of each card, I found that to be a bit annoying. But I mean, you can't have them all. And then it tells you like how to tell a fortune. And then it gives you other cards, which gives you like a variety. So literally all the cards say something along the lines of, if this card touches this card, then that can mean this. Or if that card touches that card, that can mean that. And that's literally what these 4 cards say. But you don't have to go off of any of them if you don't want to. So yeah, I thought those were cool, and I wanted to share them with you guys because you don't see these around. I don't think this would be a card deck that you actually end up seeing around. The little bit of reading I did on the person that made this deck, or the people that made this deck, is I don't actually have an author. I guess the author would have been the person that initially drew it. Whoever found it just made reprints of the original drawings, but they don't seem to have any type of intention to mass produce the deck, to even have it be an indie deck. It doesn't really seem like it's going to be one of those things that you'll see kind of floating out there. It's just going to be like, it's just one of those sort of gem finds on eBay. But if you do want a deck like this, then you can look at conjuration.co.uk. They sell it, or you can buy it from eBay at literally like Conjuration, like this. And the price on eBay and price on their website themselves is actually the same price. So you don't have to worry about that, because I brought it on eBay first and then saw the website and was like, I hope they charge me the same. But they do. So you don't have to worry about it. And as always, guys, if you like what you see, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.